Keep track of the day's headline news and the latest business developments on Business Center, coming right up.
States, all tonight only on Business Center.
Hi, thanks for staying with E. Now, one thing the attacks of September 11 have shown us is the need for continuity plans to ensure businesses don't fail in the event of a disaster. One company that knows all too well is Cantor Fitzgerald. Chief Executive Howard Lutnick recalls.
We lost everyone who worked for us, and as much as the company wanted to help these families, the company was really on its knees, and so it really was on the shoulders of the 325 surviving employees who, by luck, for some reason or another, weren't at work that morning, like I was dropping my son off at kindergarten, to try to rebuild the company to help our friends' families.
Well, how have Asian businesses heeded that warning? And what new initiatives in tech have there been to improve business continuity plans? Let's ask Goh Moh Heng, Executive Director of the Disaster Recovery Institute Asia. He joins us here in our studio. Moh Heng, if we were to look at the kind of response that your institute has been getting from, not just consultants, but also from companies in terms of looking at disaster recovery plans, have you seen a real spike up in terms of interest?
Yes, I think since last year, after the September 11 attack, I think the requirement, or rather the search of people looking for some form of training in terms of business continuity planning has actually increased tremendously.
Do you think that vendors, though, they really come into the picture, offering all sorts of different solutions? I mean, has that caused a confusion in the market, though?
Yes, there's actually a big confusion at the moment. The reason is because from a commercial point of view, I do not blame the vendors for coming to say this is the panacea to the cure, right, to the problem or the issue. But the thing is, every vendor, every service provider is beginning to say, I am the solution. Right. And this has caused a tremendous confusion to the industry as a whole.
But is there a real standard in terms of understanding what disaster recovery really entails, the whole works?
There is a standard. I mean, in example, in the Disaster Recovery Institute, which actually holds the global standards together with the other institute in the world. Mm-hmm. There's actually 10 professional standards available. One of where the service provider tends to come in is after the company, the senior executive has identified what is really critical to them, and they have taken a business decision on their criticality. Then they will proceed on to say, hey guys, should we proceed on to have a certain level of invest in our technology recovery? And that's where the vendor comes in. But currently what is happening is the vendor, they are actually purchasing technology ahead of what is actually required.
Oh, I see. If you were to look, though, in terms of budget outlay for disaster recovery programs, have you seen a lot of companies actually, really trying to understand what it really needs to cough up the kind of money that they really need to cough up for this sort of a program?
I sense a level of confusion, because one aspect would be the IT part, which is normally the IT manager or the CIO will be responsible for. What he tends to do is actually based on his IT budget, justify for something to ensure that his IT system is recovered. I think this is good in a certain sense, but it has to be integrated with the business itself. I think what needs to be done now is that senior management should actually take a more proactive role and say, I think let's take a very high level view, macro view of our organization. What is really critical? Can we actually recover this from a manual point of view? In today's context, probably not. But in another way, we choose not to do the business, right, or we lose less of the business, or we focus on critical businesses only. And after we have actually identified all these businesses, then we'll proceed on to say we need the technology to recover our critical business function.
Right. We hear from a lot of consultants, though, that a lot of companies are interested, but once they see the fact that they have to cough up quite a bit of money for this sort of a program, they kind of hold back. How true is that?
That's pretty true. After September 11, if you ask any vendor, they say, oh, we are having a tremendous surge of requests for proposal, for say, a requirement study. But I noticed, just a personal view, that this has somehow rather softened when they get the bill. They will say, okay, I think we should KIV this for a while, or no, let's wait for another, no, let's wait till we get out of recession.
Right, I see. Interesting, as always. We'll see how that pans out over the years. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Goh Moh Heng there with the Disaster Recovery Institute Asia. And that wraps up this special edition of E! But stay tuned, because in less than an hour, we will be bringing you live coverage of the remembrance ceremonies in New York. For now, we leave you with scenes of how the world commemorated the first anniversary of 9/11. I'm Keith Liu.